Welcome to the Ikios Zone. Let's get started. Welcome to the Classical Era, a period of artistic refinement and intellectual enlightenment. Emerging in the late 18th century, classical music brought a new sense of balance, clarity, and emotional depth to the musical landscape. At the heart of classical music were the ideals of order, symmetry, and restraint. Composers such as Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, Ludwig van Beethoven, and Joseph Haydn embraced these principles, crafting works of unparalleled beauty and sophistication. Unlike the grandeur of the Baroque period or the emotional intensity of the Romantic era, classical music was characterized by its elegance and balance. Melodies were clear and concise, harmonies were carefully structured, and forms were meticulously organized. Chamber music also thrived in the classical era, with composers writing sonatas, quartets, and quintets for small ensembles of string and wind instruments. These works were intended for private performances in the homes of aristocrats and bourgeois patrons, where music served as a symbol of refinement and social status. While the classical era marked a departure from the ornate excesses of the Baroque period, it also built upon the musical traditions of the past. The contrapuntal complexity of Baroque composers like Bach and Handel remained influential, while new forms such as the symphony and the concerto emerged as vehicles for musical innovation and expression. Beyond the concert hall and the opera house, music played a central role in everyday life during the classical era. Military bands entertained troops and civilians alike with spirited marches and patriotic anthems, while street musicians provided entertainment for the masses with folk tunes and popular songs. Opera, a synthesis of music, drama, and spectacle, reached new heights of refinement and sophistication during the classical era. Emerging in the late 18th century, this period witnessed significant developments in operatic form, style, and technique as composers sought to balance tradition with innovation, emotion, and restraint. Through the works of luminaries such as Mozart, Gluck, and Haydn, opera became a powerful medium for artistic expression and cultural enlightenment. At the outset of the classical era, opera seria, the dominant operatic genre of the Baroque period, underwent a process of reform. Composers such as Christopher Willibald Gluck sought to streamline the conventions of opera seria, placing a greater emphasis on dramatic naturalism, emotional authenticity, and structural coherence. Gluck's operas, such as Orfeo and Eurydice and Alceste, featured clear, concise melodies, expressive, recitative, and emotionally resonant arias, setting the stage for the evolution of classical opera. The classical era witnessed the rise of opera buffa, or comedic opera, as a popular and influential genre. Composers such as Mozart infused opera buffa with wit, charm, and humanity, creating works that spoke to the joys and follies of everyday life. Mozart's operas, including The Marriage of Figaro and Don Giovanni, are celebrated for the exquisite melodies, vibrant characterizations, and seamless integration of music and drama. Through his mastery of ensemble writing, Mozart elevated opera buffa to new heights of sophistication, paving the way for future generations of composers. In the classical era, operatic form underwent a process of evolution and refinement. Composers such as Haydn and Mozart experimented with new structural models, moving away from the rigid conventions of opera seria and embracing a more flexible and expressive approach to form. Mozart's operas, in particular, are noted for their fluid and dynamic structures, characterized by a seamless integration of arias, recitatives, ensembles, and orchestral interludes. Through his innovative use of thematic development, motivic transformation, and dramatic pacing, Mozart revolutionized the operatic form, laying the groundwork for future developments in the genre. During the classical era, opera singers were expected to possess a high level of technical skill, expressive nuance, and dramatic versatility. Composers such as Mozart and Gluck wrote roles that demanded virtuosic vocal technique, emotional depth, and theatrical flair. Singers such as castrati, sopranos, and tenors became stars of the operatic stage, captivating audiences with their powerful voices and magnetic stage presence. With the rise of opera buffa, acting and stagecraft also became increasingly important, as singers were called upon to portray vivid and believable characters in a variety of dramatic situations. The classical era left an indelible mark on the evolution of opera, shaping its form, style, and technique in profound and lasting ways. Through the works of Gluck, Mozart, and Haydn, opera became a vibrant and vital art form, capable of expressing the full range of human emotions and experiences. The classical era also laid the groundwork for future developments in opera, influencing composers such as Rossini, Donizetti, and Verdi, who would continue to push the boundaries of the genre in the Romantic era and beyond. In the classical era, opera reached new heights of artistic excellence and cultural significance, as composers sought to marry the expressive power of music with the dramatic immediacy of theater. Through their innovations in form, style, and technique, composers such as Gluck, Mozart, and Haydn transformed opera into a sophisticated and multifaceted art form, capable of moving and inspiring audiences across generations. As we continue to explore the rich and diverse repertoire of classical opera, we are reminded of the enduring legacy of this remarkable era in the history of music. And so, we reflect on the classical era. Let us not only admire its elegance and sophistication, but also appreciate its enduring legacy of beauty, balance, and enlightenment.